Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine scrolling through the latest news from, the world of Japanese pop culture and seeing not one, but two major announcements drop almost simultaneously.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And both are about creating real physical spaces for fans to experience their passions, kind of stepping away from just the digital stuff.
Hmm.
It feels like a sign, doesn't it? Like a pullback to actual places where communities can gather and these worlds sort of come to life.
It's definitely more than just coincidence, I think. It's a fascinating moment that really highlights these evolving strategies in fan engagement.
Right.
We have two pretty distinct approaches here. One is taking this massive online creative community, pixiv,
Yeah.
and giving it a temporary, like high-profile physical showcase.
Okay.
And the other is building a dedicated, immersive, and, well, potentially long-term destination for a single, globally beloved franchise.
Absolutely. And that contrast, right? That exploration of how these different corners of pop culture are choosing to show up physically,
Wow.
that's exactly what we're diving deep into today.
Mm.
We've got two specific announcements guiding us. First, Pixiv, the powerhouse online platform for artists and creators, they're setting up a limited time POPUP space at the massive Osaka Kansai Expo.
Okay, the Expo, right?
And then literally on the other side of the country, the world's first permanent experience-based official shop for the legendary JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is opening its doors. In Shibuya, no less.
Yeah, in the heart of Tokyo. It's quite the pair of announcements.
Totally.
And our source material for this deep dive comes straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. The official press releases.
Yep.
We've got one from Animate Holdings detailing the Pixiv event within their Expo presence, and then another from Bandai Namco Experience giving us all the juicy details about this upcoming JoJo store.
Nice. So we have the official word.
Exactly. It gives us the precise official info we need to really understand what's happening.
Okay, so here's our mission for today's deep dive. We're going to take these press releases, pull out the essential info, highlight the coolest, most unique bits, and really try to figure out what these physical spaces actually offer you all, the fans, the learners that you just can't get from, like, browsing online stores or scrolling through feeds.
Right. What's the real value of stepping into these worlds in person? What's the strategy behind it all?
Exactly. So let's get started by setting the scene for that first announcement, the Pixiv presence at the Expo.
Right. Okay, so this first piece of news puts us right in the middle of a truly global event. The 2025 Japan International Exposition.
Yeah.
The Osaka Kansai Expo.
Yeah, that's going to be huge.
Oh, absolutely massive.
Okay.
It's running for a full 6 months from April 13th all the way to October 13th, 2025, bringing people from literally all over the world to Osaka.
And Pixiv's involvement. It's part of the Animate Osaka Kansai Expo store, right?
That's right. And for anyone maybe not familiar, Animate is like one of the biggest retailers in Japan for anime, manga, games, all that good stuff.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
So having their store inside the Expo venue, specifically in the Westgate zone, makes it a pretty big draw for pop culture fans actually attending the Expo.
Makes sense. It's right there, super accessible once you're inside the grounds.
But, and this is really crucial detail, especially if you're planning a visit, the Pixiv presence isn't there for the whole 6 months. Not even for the whole time the Animate store is open.
Ah.
It's a very specific, limited time POPUP space.
So you kind of have to target it.
Exactly. You must specifically aim for it if you want to see it.
Right. So what are the dates for this? Create, Connect, Pixivim, POQU. You said it's limited.
Extremely limited. It opens on Friday, June 20th, 2025. And it closes on Thursday, July 3rd, 2025.
Wait, seriously, June 20th to July 3rd. That's what, like 2 weeks?
Just about 2 weeks, yeah. Out of the Expo's entire 6-month run.
Wow. Okay, so if you happen to be at the Osaka Kansai Expo during that specific fortnight, this becomes like a must-see.
Absolutely. But if your trip is before or after,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you'll miss the Pixiv part in person.
Good to know. That's super important timing.
And there's even another little detail tied to that limited time. The press release points out that on the very last day, July 3rd, the POPUP space closes early.
Oh.
Yeah, 1800, so 6 p.m.
Okay, so even within that short window, you got to watch the clock on the final day.
Precisely. Need to be mindful of that earlier closing.
So what exactly is this Create, Connect, Pixivian? What can people expect? The source mentioned it's the 6th pop-up there.
Yeah, it seems Animate is using that expo spot as a rotating exhibition space, which is pretty cool. But this specific one is all about Pixiv.
Okay.
The core theme, they say, is showcasing Pixiv as a center for creative culture and highlighting its different projects and initiatives both in Japan and internationally.
Interesting. So it's not just about showing off some art, it's about the platform itself, the whole community and ecosystem.
That seems to be the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
Representing the platform's role.
So how do they translate that, that digital concept of a center for creative culture into a physical pop-up for just 2 weeks?
Well, the source lays out a couple of key things they're doing. First, there's going to be an illustration exhibit. It'll display winning illustrations from the platform.
Okay, so curated stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing high-quality pixiv displayed physically, that's definitely different from scrolling online. You can appreciate the scale, the details, maybe even the print quality in a way you miss on a screen.
Right, it elevates it, gives it that gallery feel,
Yeah.
even if it's temporary.
But what really jumped out at me was the mention of a participatory corner.
Yes. This seems to be where the connect part of the theme really comes in. Visitors are invited to actually draw illustrations on IMA plaques.
IMA plaques. Okay, now that's interesting.
Yeah, and then have their creations displayed right there in the PEOP-UP space.
So for anyone listening who might not know, IMA are these traditional Japanese wooden plaques, right? You often see them at shrines or temples. People write prayers or wishes on them, often with little drawings.
Mm-hmm. And hang them up.
So using IMA in a pixiv PvP, wow, that's such a cool blend of modern digital creativity and this really traditional cultural practice.
Isn't it? It feels like a physical act of creation and sharing, directly linking the online artist community to this ancient custom.
I wonder what people will draw their OCs. Wishes for artistic success. It feels really personal, a direct way to join in that connect theme.
It adds this layer of cultural resonance. It's kind of unexpected, but it fits perfectly for showcasing a Japanese creative platform.
Yeah, it grounds the whole digital creation thing in something tangible, traditional, communal. It's way more unique than just leaving a digital comment.
Definitely feels more physical and communal.
Okay, so beyond the exhibit and this super cool IMA thing, there's obviously got to be merch, right? What can people actually buy?
Naturally. Can't have a pop-up without merch. The source highlights a selection of books first.
Books, okay.
Specifically, pixiv supervised art books. They mention series like the Vision series and the Artists In series, which apparently focuses on introducing international creators featured on pixiv.
Ah, so reinforcing that idea of showcasing recognized talent in curated projects.
Exactly. They give one specific example, too. The Nerd book, priced at $100 to $540, tax included.
Nerd book. Love it. So it sounds like a focus on higher quality published works representing the platform.
Yeah, things that show pixiv's impact on the art world. These aren't just random goods. They feel more like curated selection.
Makes sense. What about other kinds of goods, like smaller stuff?
Oh, yeah. They list some concrete examples there, too. They mention acrylic key holders, 900 each, tax included. And there's a huge variety, 22 different types.
22? Wow.
Plus a specific new one featuring art by Tarutu Sensei for 990.
Okay, 22 types is definitely a range. Enough to tempt collectors, for sure. What else?
They also have clear file sets.
Ah, the classic clear file.
You know it. These are $1,200 per set, tax included. And the source says there are 11 types of sets, and each set actually contains 2 files.
2 files per set.
Okay, so you get a pair of clear files with 11 different designs for the sets. That's a lot of clear files.
Staple of Japanese character goods right there.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Tarutu Sensei for a key holder.
Seems like a featured creator, yeah. Because they also list some new products specifically based on their work.
What guy?
Let's see. Smartphone sticker for $600, a photo style card also for $600, and a 25mm can badge for $550. All tax included.
Okay, so smaller, accessible items featuring specific artist works celebrated by pixiv.
Right, so you've got this mix, high-level art books, then the more common collectible stuff like key holders and clear files, plus items featuring specific popular artists. Covers a good range of interests and budgets for Expo attendees who might be into pixiv.
Yeah, it translates the platform's diversity into physical things you can buy.
And there's one more little thing, a special offer.
Oh.
Simple but effective. If you download the pixiv app while you're actually at the POPUP site,
Let me guess, you get something free.
you got it. A Pix original sticker. First come, first served.
Classic. Encourages app downloads, gives you a little free souvenir. Smart. Reinforces that link between the physical event and the main digital platform.
Exactly.
So, logistics recap. The main Animate Expo store is open long hours, like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., right?
Generally, yeah, during the expo.
But, and we got to stress this again, for anyone planning the pixiv, POPUP, has those very specific, much shorter dates, June 20th to July 3rd, and the early close on the last day.
Right. And the press release itself wisely advises checking the official Animate Osaka Kansai Expo store website and their social media for the absolute latest info.
Always best practice for these time-sensitive things. Schedules can change.
Especially with only a 2-week window, staying updated is vital if this is on your must-see list at the Expo.
Okay, so zooming out,
Yeah.
what does this pixiv POPUP mean for you, the listener? Well, if you're planning to hit the Osaka Kansai Expo in 2025, and crucially, if your visit falls between June 20th and July 3rd, this is a pretty unique opportunity.
It's a physical touch point with this huge global digital creative community.
Yeah, a chance to see some of the platform's celebrated art curated in a real space. Maybe even participate in that cool IMA drawing activity.
And grab some items that celebrate Pixivia's artists in a way that feels, more tangible than just clicking buy online.
Plus, that temporary nature makes it feel kind of special, right? Like an event you can only experience if you're there at that exact time.
It's definitely an interesting case study. How a purely digital community creates this meaningful, even if brief, physical presence inside a massive international event. And leveraging both new art and traditional culture. It's pretty neat.
All right, so moving from that temporary celebration of a broad creative community at a global expo, let's shift gears.
Big shift.
Let's transition to what sounds like a much more dedicated, maybe even permanent physical home for one of the most iconic and frankly bizarre franchises out there.
We are diving into the Yojo world, opening its doors in Shibuya, Tokyo.
The JoJo world, just the name.
Right. And the press release from Bandai Namco Experience hammers this home. It's the world's first experience-based official shop for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
World's first. Okay, that signals this isn't just another merch shop. This is meant to be the destination.
Exactly. A flagship.
And the location, Shibuya, couldn't be more perfect, really.
Totally fitting. Shibuya is globally known as the hub for youth culture, fashion, entertainment in Tokyo.
Everyone knows Shibuya Crossing.
Right, so putting a high-profile, experience-based store like this on the 6th floor of Shibuya Parko, which is itself a major department store and cultural spot, places it smack bang in a location with massive foot traffic.
Including tons of international visitors and fans who make pilgrimages to Shibuya specifically for its pop culture vibe.
Precisely. Now, the grand opening date for the Yojo World is Thursday, July 24th, 2025.
Okay, this summer.
And remember how the Pixiv one was explicitly temporary? This one's different. The source uses this phrase, "Ongyu tume no aida."
Which means?
It translates roughly to for the time being or for the foreseeable future.
Ah, okay. So not necessarily permanent forever, but definitely not just a 2-week pop-up. It suggests it's planned to operate for an extended period.
Yeah, exactly. It represents a much deeper, more committed investment in a physical space for the JoJo franchise.
Okay, so world's first, potentially long-term, and experience-based. That's the key descriptor they keep using. What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, right off the bat, one of the major draws they announced is the unveiling of a brand new illustration created specifically for the JoJo world by the series creator himself, Hirohiko Araki.
Whoa, okay. New Araki art. That alone is huge news for any JoJo fan.
Absolutely. New official art from Araki-sensei is always a massive deal. And this illustration apparently features all 9 main protagonists of the series, drawn just for this store.
9 JoJos and 1 new piece. Amazing. Where will people see it?
The source says this striking new piece will be displayed prominently right at the store entrance, welcoming visitors.
Wow, what a greeting.
And it'll also be featured on some of the original merchandise available inside.
Okay, so that immediately elevates the space beyond just retail, doesn't it? You walk in and you're greeted by bespoke art from the master creator. Sets the tone instantly.
Exactly. It really leans into that idea of entering the Yojo world. The experience literally starts the moment you arrive.
And how does the rest of the store carry that experience idea? The interior design.
Yeah, the design itself reinforces it. The source describes the store's layout as being like an adventure or maybe a corridor that visitors explore.
An adventure or a corridor?
Yeah.
Interesting. So not just straight aisles of shelves then.
Doesn't sound like it. It sounds like they've designed the physical flow to feel like you're moving through a journey, within the series.
Cool.
And adding to that immersive feel, the source mentions the original interior design incorporates traces of stand arrows.
Ooh, stand arrows.
And various stands throughout the space.
Okay, for listeners maybe less familiar, Stand arrows are these mystical items in JoJo that can awaken a person's stand their unique psychic power. And stands themselves are central to everything.
Absolutely central. So integrating these elements, symbols of power, the essence of the characters, right into the store's architecture and decor. It turns browsing into kind of a treasure hunt for fans.
Yeah, you're actively looking for these iconic symbols and maybe character stands embedded in the environment as you move through this corridor.
It makes the space itself part of the narrative, adds layers of appreciation for fans who spot those details. It's like a physical manifestation of the JoJo world.
Love that. Okay, and of course, a dedicated store like this means exclusive merchandise. What kind of goods are we talking about?
A wide variety of original goods, according to the press release. And they make a point of highlighting items that feature illustrations taken directly from the manga.
How nice. That's a big deal for fans who love Araki's original manga art style.
Definitely. Examples they give include B3 Aurora posters, 9 different types, a 12,800 each, 75mm hologram can badges labeled ver.sketch, 9 types, 600 each, and wire key holders, 9 types, 880 each.
Okay, wait. Those can badges and key holders, are they blind boxed?
Good catch. Yes, the source specifies for the hologram can badges and the wire key holders and some other items too that they randomly enclosed. Random ufunu.
Ah, the classic gotcha mechanic for merch.
Exactly. Very common in Japan. You buy one, you don't know which design you'll get.
Yeah.
Adds that element of surprise, encourages trading. It's a whole culture.
Right. So, besides the manga art stuff, what other original goods did they mention?
A whole host of others. Let's see. A metal collection, Volpot 1 6 types, 990 each, also random. An Iggy plush sleeve for 1,200.
Iggy, of course.
Ribbon scarves, 5 types, 1,800 each. An acrylic board featuring that iconic spiral staircase motif that's 3,850.
Ooh, the spiral staircase, nice.
Acrylic sticker, Volpot 1, 10 types, 660 each, random again. And pudgy key holders, 12 types, 1,200 each.
Wow, okay. That is a really diverse selection. From wearables like scarves, display pieces like that acrylic board, down to tons of small collectibles, key holders, badges, stickers.
Seems like they're trying to cater to different fan preferences and budgets, and the inclusion of specific things like the Iggy sleeve or the spiral staircase board shows they're really pulling memorable motifs from the series.
And yeah, the number of random items really leans into that modern Japanese collectible market, doesn't it? The thrill of the blind box, the community trading.
Definitely part of the appeal for many fans.
Okay, so we've got the atmosphere, the exclusive merch, but no experience store is complete without themed food and drink, right?
Absolutely not. And the Ojojo world delivers with the IGG Cafe.
The IGG Cafe, perfectly named after the best boy, the stand-using Boston Terrier.
Indeed. So the cafe offers treats and drinks inspired by various characters and motifs from JoJo.
Give us examples. What kind of stuff?
Okay, they list an Iki Donut drink set for $1,500. Gelato, you can get 2 types for $990 or 3 types for $1,280. And get this, Tonio's special pudding for $950.
Tonio's pudding. Oh my God, that's brilliant. From part 4, Diamond is unbreakable. The chef whose stand-powered food heals people.
That's the one. Tonio Trussardi. Offering his special pudding is such a fantastic deep cut that fans will instantly get and love.
That's amazing. Does it come with anything? Like, does it cure your shoulder pain?
Probably not, but the source does say it comes with a little bonus, a sparkly sticker.
Nice. These themed foods are such a fun way to engage more senses, right? Makes for great photos, great memories within the world.
It's like eating inside the story. Enhances the whole immersion.
Totally.
And speaking of immersion and interaction, a major part of this experience-based store concept seems to be the mini-games.
Mini-games. Okay, tell me more.
Right, so these cost money to play, but the prizes are exclusive to the venue, making them potentially high-value items for collectors.
Ah, so you play to win exclusive merch you can't just buy off the shelf.
Exactly. And the press release details 2 specific games, both based on really iconic scenes from the series.
Okay, lay 'em on me.
Game number 1 is titled, let me get the Japanese, which translates roughly to Derek, Mameta, Ripple Roulette. Ripple energy is the power of Sendo.
Memeta. Okay, I know this one. That's from part 1, right? Phantom Blood. When Zeppeli teaches Jonathan Joestar about the ripple, or Hamon.
That's the one. The famous scene where he hits the frog on the rock without hurting it. Just pure ripple energy, making that Memeta sound.
Right, so the game is based on that.
Seems like it. The description implies the visitor interacts with a fraud figure on a rock, maybe hits a button, performs some action to simulate generating ripple energy, and the result determines your prize tier.
That is such a brilliant way to turn a classic, really distinct visual moment into a physical game. What are the prizes?
They're tiered. A prize is an acrylic board, 12 different types. B prize is a hollow can badge, also 12 types. And C prize is a die-cut sticker, 24 types.
Okay, and random or...
Here's the good part. For the A and B prizes, the acrylic board and the hollow badge, you get to choose the specific design you want.
Oh, nice.
But the C prize stickers are distributed randomly. Still, being able to choose your favorite character for the higher tier prizes, that's a huge plus for fans.
Yeah, definitely reduces the potential frustration of getting random pulls for the bigger prizes. Okay, what's game number 2?
Game 2 is titled,
Oh, that's a baseball.
or Aim for a Home Run. Oh, that's a baseball.
That's a baseball. Okay, that's part 3, Stardust Crusaders. The super intense mind game battle between Jotaro Kujo and Terrence T. D'Arby.
Exactly. Darby, Stan, Adam could read souls and manifested through video game challenges. Their most famous fight was over that baseball video game.
Right, predicting the pitches. So the mini-game simulates that.
Looks like it. Visitors press a button at the right moment, probably to swing the bat in the game, and the result determines the prize. And fittingly, all the prizes for this game are Jotaro-themed.
Makes perfect sense. What are the prizes here?
Also tiered. A prize is either a hat key holder or a drawstring bag. You get to choose one of the two types. B prize is an acrylic key holder, 8 types, and again, you choose the design. C prize is a square cam badge, 15 types, and these ones are random.
Okay, so choice again for the A and B prizes. Very fan-friendly approach to the game prizes. These mini-games really sound like a core part of the experience.
Totally. Offering unique interaction tied to specific scenes, plus those exclusive, highly desirable birth prizes you can only get by playing. It's not just shopping.
Okay, now, this sounds amazing, but there's got to be a catch, right? Like, how crowded is this going to be? This brings us to maybe the single most crucial piece of logistical info from the press release for anyone planning to visit.
Yes, the big one.
Especially in the opening weeks or months, due to how crowded they expect it to be, entry into the Yujo world requires a reservation.
Yeah, for the time being, they say. This is not going to be a casual walk-in experience, at least not initially.
Cannot stress that enough. Reservation required.
They're implementing a system, probably timed entry slots, and using a lottery for the initial periods to manage demand. And the lottery application window for the very first slots actually opened quite recently, back on June 5th.
June 5th. Okay, so they're already processing applications for opening day and beyond. Which periods does the current reservation system cover?
Right now, it covers from the opening day, July 24th, all the way through August 17th.
Okay, the first few weeks.
And they've even broken it down into specific application windows. For period 1, that's July 24th to July 31st, the lottery application ran June 5th to June 29th.
Okay, so that lottery might be closed by the time people hear this. Is there a first-come, first-served option?
Yes. If there are any slots left after the lottery for that period, a first-come, first-served reservation window opens on July 4th.
Gotcha. What about August?
For the second period they've detailed, August 1st to August 17th. The lottery application window is July 4th to July 13th.
Okay.
And then any remaining slots for that period will be up for first-come, first-served reservation starting July 18th.
And after August 17th?
The source explicitly says that details on how to enter after August 18th will be announced later on the official website and their X account, formerly Twitter.
Okay, so the absolute key takeaway here for everyone listening, if you are planning at all to visit the Yojo world anytime in its first month or two, you must engage with this reservation system.
Absolutely.
You need to check the official website, like right now, to see the current status. Are lotteries open? Are first come, first served slots available? Just showing up at Shibuya Parko is almost certainly going to lead to disappointment.
The fact they're doing a lottery and reservation system from day one tells you everything you need to know about the expected demand. It's going to be intense.
Yeah, no kidding.
They also mentioned a pre-opening day, July 23rd, the day before the official launch, also via reservation lottery that started June 5th.
Oh, sneak peek.
Yeah, and get this, they're even offering a special invitation category for fans who previously passed the executive course of the JoJo World Quizzes attraction from past events.
Oh, that's a nice touch. Rewarding dedicated fans who engaged before.
Yeah, alongside general pre-opening invitations, it recognizes that hardcore fan base.
And as you'd expect for a big opening, they ran an online campaign too, right?
Yep, a follow and repost campaign on Twitter X that just ended June 8th. Chance to win a full set of the motif key holders. Just standard buzz building online for the physical place.
Right. Any other basic logistics we need? Store size, hours.
Store size is about 264 square meters, which they note is about 80 tsubo in Japanese terms.
Hmm.
So a decent size for a theme shop.
Okay.
Standard operating hours are planned for 10:00 p.m., matching Shibuya Parko's hours.
Rats.
And remember, admission itself is free.
But you gotta pay to play the games.
Right. And crucially, entry requires that reservation for the foreseeable future. Checking the official website and X account is absolutely paramount for those reservation details and any updates.
Okay, so let's step back. Why is the Yojo World opening such a big deal? Well, it's a major, dedicated physical destination for a franchise with this massive, passionate global fan base. It's clearly not just about buying merch, though there's going to be tons of exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
It's designed as an experience.
Right. From the moment you see that new Araki art, as you explore the stand-infused interior, grab themed food at the Iggy Cafe, play mini games tied to beloved scenes, you're meant to be immersed in the world of JoJo.
Yeah, it translates the series' unique energy, its style, its story beats into a tangible space you can actually walk around in and interact with.
And that reservation system just underscores how anticipated this level of immersion is. Planning ahead is absolutely necessary. It offers a depth of engagement, a shared fan space that you just can't replicate online.
Definitely not. Okay, wow. So we've taken a pretty deep dive into two very different, but both really exciting announcements about creating these physical spaces for fans. Let's try and recap the key points.
Sounds good.
First, we explored the temporary pixiv POP Cube. That's happening for just about 2 weeks in late June, late July 2025, inside the Animate store at the huge Osaka Kansai Expo.
Right. A slice of the digital creative community brought into a global event. Chance to see curated art, do that unique EMA drawing activity, get some specific goods, celebrating pixiv and its creators. Very time sensitive.
And then we contrasted that with the opening of the JoJo World in Shibuya starting July 24th, 2025. This sounds much more permanent, or at least long-term. A dedicated, highly immersive destination for JoJo fans.
Yeah, promising exclusive new Araki art, an interior designed like an adventure, themed food at the IGG Cafe, interactive mini-games based on famous scenes with exclusive prizes you gotta win. Experience-driven.
So the key takeaways for you all listening. Both events offer exclusive physical experiences you really can't get online, but they're different beasts.
The pixiv event is defined by that short time frame and being part of the bigger expo context, something you have to catch during a very specific window.
Whereas the Ojo World, while intended to stick around longer, requires serious advanced planning, especially for its opening period because of that reservation system. You can't just wander in.
And they really represent two distinct approaches to physical fan engagement we're seeing in Japan right now.
How so?
Well, one is about bringing a broad digital creator community into a big public event space, focusing on connection, participation, but only temporarily.
Okay.
The other is about creating a deep, immersive world just for the fan base of one specific beloved property, setting it up in a major cultural hub and focusing on dedicated experience and exclusive interaction.
That's a great way to put it. So considering these two different, but I think really compelling examples translating digital or fictional worlds into physical destinations, one temporary and community-focused, the other more permanent and franchise immersive. What does this maybe tell us about how fans want to interact with their passions in the real world now?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah. Are you all listening more drawn to that unique, maybe fleeting experience of a special temporary event? Or is it the deep, dedicated immersion offered by a more permanent theme space that appeals more? What kind of physical interactions do you value most in fandom today? Something to think about.